Hi, welcome to Bible Walkthrough. I'm Wes Warner.
I'm Adam Ayers.
And we are going to be looking at a verse in 1 Kings today about someone who may have had superhuman speed. 1 Kings 18:46 says, "The hand of the Lord was on Elijah, who girded up his clothing and ran before Ahab as far as the approaches to Jezreel." All right, so some of the problems people have with this passage is the question, can a man really run faster than a chariot? As it says before, that Ahab mounted his chariot and made for Jezreel, but apparently Elijah was able to gird up his loins and run faster than Ahab all the way down this mountain. And it's about 30 miles from Mount Carmel, the top of Mount Carmel, to Jezreel. And is that even possible? Can a man run that fast? I come from the idea that God did a lot of miraculous things with Elijah. It's recorded a lot of different things he did, miracles, turning water, being caught up in a chariot to heaven, raising boy from dead to life again. He just got done bringing fire down from heaven just previously. So I don't see it as a big deal for the power of God to come upon him and for him to be given super speed, like the Flash or like another superhero or something like that, to run and beat Ahab all the way down into the city and be the first one to give the report of what happened in the mountain that day. But what do you think, Adam?
I think that's a possibility.
Mm-hmm.
This is sort of a classic. Historical critical problem, and the historical critical problem is what are the actual events behind some of the biblical passages? What's the historical character of them? And trying to figure out what exactly happened is a little bit fuzzy in this passage. We know that the hand of the Lord was on him.
Mm-hmm.
That's fine. And that he girded up his clothing and ran before Ahab as far as the approaches to Jezreel. Now, the fact that miraculous things are going on is throughout the passage. Like you say, he calls fire down from heaven. He's been looking and praying for a break in the drought.
Mm-hmm. And
he sees a little tiny cloud, and he says to Ahab, this is important, he says, Elijah said to his servant, "Go and say to Ahab, harness up and leave the mountain before the rain stops you." And we know that strong rain on a mountain after a drought is a very dangerous thing.
It's true.
Yes, and we notice it says, immediately, the sky grew dark with clouds and wind, and a heavy rain fell.
Mm-hmm. Now,
there are other passages in the Bible, particularly, it's notable, the passing of the Egyptians across the Red Sea, that mud, another passage talking about when the iron chariot wheels get stuck in the mud. Trying to drive a battle chariot, through a muddy environment, particularly ruts on a mountain road, is not a fast endeavor.
No, yeah.
So Ahab he's already been told by Elijah, you'd better get going because you're going to get stuck.
Mm-hmm.
So Elijah running downhill for about 20 miles, and notice it's the approaches to Jezreel. It's not to Jezreel proper. It's when the valley starts to rise up again the other way to Jezreel. Down Mount Carmel, down into the valley of Megiddo, down toward the approaches to Jezreel, is less distance than a marathon. Now, I remember seeing an ultramarathoner, a friend of mine, who won the Western States Ultramarathon numerous times, a guy named Jim King. I saw him one day at church, and I said, "Jim, you look tired." And we were at church here in Orange County. And I said, "Jim, you look tired. Are you okay today?" He goes, "Yeah, I ran to San Diego today." Mm-hmm. That's how he would train for this 100-mile race. 100 miles, he would train by taking off from his house here in Newport Beach and running to San Diego and taking the train back. So he said the strength of the Lord sustained him too. And that's one of the things that he witnessed with as he won these Western states. So whether this is natural or supernatural, either way, Ahab is running through the mud with his chariot, and Elijah's making there ahead of time, and he girds up his loins. So he's trucking it.
Yeah.
And he's a foot race. I think it's interesting when God challenges the prophet, not Elijah the prophet, but he says, if you have grown weary marching with the footmen, how will you run with the chariots? So it's not uncommon for there to be chariot runners. That's one possibility.
Yeah.
But he could have been the Flash.
Oh, yeah. I think so. Yes, because what you're saying does make sense. He could have been covered in rain, or Ahab could have been ahead of the rain. It's not totally clear from the scriptures. But I like that it says that the hand of God was on him. Or different translations would say, the Lord energized Elijah with power, or the power of God was on him. It gives me this sense that something above and beyond was happening there. And when it's Elijah, it's kind of like, to me, okay, it's God's doing something extra powerful there. I mean, he's just always up to some kind of miraculous thing. So
very true.
That's where I come from when I think that he was running super fast in that passage.
And like you say, there's a lot of supernatural, miraculous things happening right here. I think this is one of those things that we'll have to ask him eventually. Was the hand of the Lord on you and made you super fast? Or was the hand of the Lord on you and you were stoked?
Yeah.
Can I say stoked?
Jesus said dogs. I mean.
All right. We leave the question to you. Thank you for tuning in to Bible Walkthrough. I'm Adam Ayers.
And Wes Warner.
We will see you next text and next time on Bible Walkthrough. Have a good one.